Well, a good afternoon from Las Vegas, United States, as we look high above the second largest bridge in the USA, over 900 feet tall. We look at downtown Las Vegas and Fremont Street. And go experience Fremont Street there. We're a little ways away at the Orleans Arena from Fremont Street. And all the fans filing in for the 361 World Men's Curling Championship 2018. Look at all four sheets. Here on a Sunday afternoon, our feature game will be Japan taking on Norway. Games becoming important. These two teams on opposite sides of the spectrum right now. Pleasure to be with you. I'm Luke Coley with Kenny Edwards. As these two teams opposite side, one at the top, one at the bottom of the standings. Teams making their way out to the ice surface. Will be an important game. Japan trying to get their first win. Well, it is Norway starting to roll a little bit, looking to improve on their 7th place finish last year at the World Championship. Obviously, coming out of the footsteps of Thomas Ulsrud and their Norwegian team. Let's meet the teams here in our feature matchup. For Japan, their lead, Yutaki Aoyama. Second, Koji Nisato. Their throwing third stones and skip, Masaki Awai. And their fourth stone thrower, Go Aoki. Looking for their first win, taking on Team Norway, Magnus Vabug. Their second, Magnus Nedregotten. The third, Marcus Højbjerg. And their skip, second straight year, Stefan Valstad. And let's look at the standings coming into session 4. Korea, Norway, and Sweden all atop at 2-0, then Scotland at 1-0. Canada, China, Netherlands, Russia, and the US all at 1-1. Italy at 0-1, and then Germany, Japan, and Switzerland all sit with an 0-2 record. And let's look at the other games going on here in session 4. On sheet A, it's Korea taking on the USA, while Scotland takes on Italy on sheet B. Sheet C, Netherlands at 1-1 take on Sweden at 2-0, and our feature game is on sheet D. Japan taking on Norway. And a good afternoon, Kenny Edwards, as we look at these two teams. Norway comes in second straight year. This is a new Japanese team that hasn't been here before. The nerves maybe getting to them early on in an event?
Yeah, I certainly think it's a big challenge for any new team coming to World Championships to step out the shadow of Thomas Ulsrud. Stefan Mossad and his side have done really well, whereas this young Japanese side maybe just felt the pressure a little bit, made so many good shots throughout the tournament, but just haven't pieced every shot together in one end yet. Maybe playing 7.5 good shots in an end rather than a full 8, finding themselves being put under a little bit of pressure early on in games. And certainly at the World Championships, you can't afford to go 1 or 2 down early on, or you really will be chasing the game, and that's when you really have to play the big shots well, and they just haven't been getting the right side of the shots they've been calling.
Well, as we see this Norwegian team, Magnus Nedregotten, Olympic bronze medalist in the mixed doubles discipline, comes here, and they now have podium aspirations for sure, and starting to see other teams coming from nations. You're not seeing the same team in year out as it had been for years, with obviously Thomas Ulsrud almost a fixture going to the World Championship. Now Valstad gets to come out from under the shadow there. As we look at the colors, Japan will have the red stones, Norway with the yellow. Norway will have the hammer. So it looks like we are just about set to begin. Yutaka Aoyama, the 33-year-old lead.
Yeah, Stefan Mossad finishing 8th at last year's World Championships. Started off so well, and they challenged so many sides late in the day, up 9-10. Got to say, they were a little unfortunate to find themselves finishing up in eighth spot.
Well, the first stone goes in, and Norway elects to hit. We are on a side sheet. Team's trying to, first couple days, get a feel for the ice surface, what it's going to do.
Well, Japan just electing to try and hit and roll to the wing with that one, but the roll out of play.
Well, look, all four sheets again in action. Of course, the 13-team field, 12 games. We saw on the women's side is the first year of a 13-team format. At 6-6, got into a playoff spot, but 6-6 also missed based on the tiebreaker scenarios. No tiebreaker games will be played. Koji Inisato, the alternate, comes in and plays now for Japan, getting a chance to get everyone in the lineup. As he was trying to play the peel, ends up flashing it, so there's a miss.
Yeah, big miss early on in this opening end. And that's what we've seen so far from this young Japanese side. They haven't been playing badly, but just one slack shot most ends has put them under a little bit of pressure.
And it was looking like it might be an fairly open end now. Magnus Nedergotten gets to draw in behind. Comes in top part of the rings. As we look at the rules of play, 6 ends minimum must be played before a team can concede. If it's a lopsided game, there's 38 minutes of thinking time to start the game for each team and 1 60-second timeout. And their coach will come down. Onisato played 93%, got in at lead earlier today. Well, missed the run back, rolls to the center.
Norway just electing to split the rings, get some separation between the two yellow stones, and set up an opportunity to score 2 in this opening end.
So well spread out. There is a short hit and roll. Try and use that guard. Here's we're into third stones. On 4, Masaki Awai, the skip, who he throws third stones. Helps bring a little bit of the age, the experience at 32 years of age with the 18-year-old 4-stone thrower, Go Aoki.
Yeah, didn't start curling until the age of 20, so most of the other players here at the World Championships will have started at an earlier age than that. But in 12 years to find yourself at World Championship, that's very good going.
And everyone's got a little different story of what gets them started. Marcus Højberg, the third. Of course, Japan had the 1998 Olympic Winter Games in Nagano that There are numerous number of Japanese that said that got them interested in the sport and got them going.
Very good shot from Norway to hit and stay. If Japan just hit this one in the nose, that would mean that Norway still would sit shot out on the left-hand side.
Well, Norway has no problem just exchanging these stones. Nose here will be just into the rings. Højbjerg.
Having to go hard on this one to hold the shooting stone. Rolls a little bit far, but the double's very, very short. And don't really want to be going after that at this stage in the game.
So the 18-year-old just curling for 8 years himself and in a world championship.
This one's beginning to move towards the centre. Have they held it? Might be better upping it and trying to get in behind the guard, but no. It's going to roll too far and out of play.
A real quiet wait, and that one rolls away. Let's see if they use the center or they just keep things separated, draw to the open side. So put this one on the opposite side of the 12-foot to lie two. Was a flash on the peel attempt. Allowed to come around the missed run back. And leaves us where we're at in skip stones for Stefan Valstad. Opportunity to draw and lie two.
Yeah, great opportunity to get some separation. Throws this one right down on the tee line. Really nice shot. Right out wide.
Well, that's not an easy shot early in a game. It's a path that you're not going to throw a lot in your practice. Obviously to the wide side, splits it to lie two. Well, a couple misses. You talked about Kenny that need to put a full end together. A couple misses and leaves Norway that chance to score two.
This one also sitting a little high at the moment. Is it going to hang around?
It'll hang around, but
who's sitting short?
Well, if you're at all doubting that you're sure of who is, you're going to hit it. But a draw for the second point would obviously be nice for Norway in this first end. What do you think, Kenny? It looks, I thought at first glance it was yellow, but
yeah. They're going to play a takeout. I think that's a sensible call. If Norway should ever hit and run, Japan could find themselves very fortunate only to give up the single.
So Stefan Wallstedt, the final stone here of this first end, trying to win their first 3 games of the competition. Wow, real big scrub trying to make the hit and stick around. There's the hit. And will it stick in the rings? Why he tries to get it out, but to no avail. It is a deuce for Norway to start off this game. 2-0 after 1 end of play. Well, back inside the Orleans Arena, Norway leading Japan 2-0. The 3-6-1 World Men's Curling Championship. Magnus Wahlberg to start off this second end of play. Well, this Japanese team using their alternate, they've mixed things up in their lineup the last couple of games. They did that at the Women's Championship as well. They keep some players fresh, give them the experience. Obviously, this entire team is new to the World Championship scene.
Yeah, I'm not sure I agree with that, Luke. I think you maybe just put 4 guys out there and allow them to settle in. The constant changing can sometimes upset a team's dynamic.
Well, some teams have a different philosophy. It seems to be what they want to do. I like the consistency is one thing for teams. And I think other years has shown the success of teams that run out that same lineup game in, game out. But if you have a 5-man team and that's how you've played throughout the season and using that 5th player to your advantage, get a little bit of a rest for the front end so they're not sweeping quite as much. Here we'll see Aoyama after good pair by Wahlberg. Well, this one not going to be anywhere near where they want. It's going to be another guard out in front. Well, an early look at all the scores. No score Korea, USA in the second end. Scotland, Italy also on blank first. Sweden gets a deuce against the Netherlands on sheet C. We're here on sheet D, 2-0 as well. Norway capitalizing with the hammer.
Linja bra. Håll igång. Tungt. Okej. Vill ha 6. Linja bra. Bara fart. Försiktig med linja. 5-6. Okej. Tungt. Linja kjempebra. Linja perfekt. 3. Gå da. Lagt opp foran.
This one looks really good from Team Norway. Nedregotten into the top of the 12, so things looking rather ominous for Team Japan at this point. They're having to take the guards off, trying to open things up, get something going in this second end. Really chasing the game so far.
Gets a couple of those going off the center line. Still Norway lying those two on the center. So we see the national team coach for Team Japan, J.D. Lind.
Kjører det mer der? Ja, men han vil ikke være på linja. Jeg skjønner det. Det ser bra ut det.
Well, another guard, always nice. You can put these out, especially early in an end.
I would like to have seen that one a little bit tighter to the house.
I'm sure Thomas Levold would have as well, charting that and making a note. Let's. I think Kenny wanted to put this one a little tighter, so
Yeah.
we'll make sure we tell the guys after. Allows this double peel to be a little bit of a simpler shot. Try and spill everything out. Opens up that center line. So trying to just plug up that center line again here for Hoiberg.
Vågberg må gå på slutten. Bra. Akkurat der. Nesten 3-4. Og så vil han midt på linja, så Vågberg må gå. Stikker. Ja. Stein lenger enn kostene. Hard. Ikke kjører det. Hard.
Well, they come tight to the rings, but can you get all three of them, Kenny?
Yeah, potentially you could get all three of them, but it's going to be fairly difficult to move all three. I believe that they've got everything in line, so there's no real danger for them. I think Norway will be fairly happy with the way things are sitting at the moment.
If that guard's further out, this becomes a little more tricky here. Should be able to get rid of at least two.
Throwing this one with a lot of weight, gets two of them going.
Well, opens the center line, just rolls that one off. Just move that stone. It was just bumped a little bit by the sweeper, so see on the top of your screen. Just bumps that one coming by on the sweep. With the double made. That's part of the sportsmanship of the game. He said, I just bumped that one, you put it where you think it was. Still another guard, and Japan not out of the woods yet. They're still chasing, but now just facing one.
Rent på linje, Wolf. 3, Wolf.
Another well-placed guard from Team Norway. Is there enough curl on the ice to get around to that one in the button? I believe there is.
I think Japan, they don't quite see enough that they're happy. They want to try and run this one back. It's been there since the first stone of the end.
It just goes to show how important the lead stones are in the game right now. It's a fairly long run back, this. Very close to this. Gets one. Close to the second.
But it's one of those in between that you don't make the run back and you leave that stone out in front. And if they make things even more difficult for Aoki, his final 2 stones at the end.
Do you get greedy and throw one in top 12 or throw the guard? I believe they're just going with the guard.
Yeah, it looks like the guard, but might try and make a play in if it was his last stone of the end.
Stefan Wallstad on the side, sitting number 17 in the world right now. So having a good season. Played lots of games in the tour.
And that's how they got the qualification to be the team representing Norway. So, just across the center line. Not a lot to shoot at. Going to be another run back here.
Yeah, this time trying to drive the red back onto the yellow. We'll be hoping to blank this end.
First to 4th stones. The youngest player in the field, Go Aoki, trying to go red. And will just miss the yellow over the top. Now I think you bring another one in if you're Norway, go right on top of it.
Yeah, very difficult now for Japan to bail out and try and blank this end.
Look how close this one to catching that yellow. Tough result there for Aoki. I thought they were pretty close to it.
Very, very close to it. Line looks pretty big at the moment. Doesn't look as if it's getting in behind that centre guard. Just need this one biting the top of the 12. Actually left that one short.
Yeah, kind of surprised they let that one just finish that short. You try and go a little bit more to bring another one into play. Just find you get a little bit wider, it doesn't curl, and it's been run back after run back by this Japanese side. An early miss, and they've been chasing throughout.
Well, electing to drive the yellow in rather than the red. Should know what the ice is doing. They've just played this one.
So the final stone here. Go Aoki. Try and go yellow. Yellow. Kick it out and get the blank. Just like that, and the run back made on the right shot. Took to the last stone. But it will remain a 2-0 Norway lead. We're through two ends here. It's session 4 in the 361 World Men's Curling Championship. Well, look at the 4 houses here. From overhead up above the sheet D that we are playing on here. Norway taking on Japan. Magnus Valberg will start off the end again. It was the run back made by Go Aoki with his final shot, and needed the run back and came up with one when they needed it the most.
Yeah, it really was a fantastic shot to bail his team out of a lot of trouble. You drop 3 behind against a team like Stefan Wallstad, you're really going to struggle. And that was supposed to be a corner guard. 4 free guard zone that we play here at the World Championship. So if it's short of the scoring area, you can't remove it from play until the 5th stone of the end. But because it drifted into the top 12, Norway can remove it and tidy things up.
Well, that puts you behind the 8 ball right away. Now, you can put a guard up, but you're putting a guard up with facing 2 of your opponents in the house. You're trying to set up the end, you could hit, but playing a hit's not really an offensive type shot at this stage.
Having to go hard to get this one over. Has to pass that hog line, that black line that we're just about to see come into shot.
Oh, that's two misses. And one into the house. That one short of, not even in play. Yutaki Aoyama.
Yeah, sometimes I think that can be down to not playing all the games, coming in and out and swapping positions. That can have an effect on your game, because ice conditions do change.
Well, and especially early on in an event, we're just on day 2 and ice makers are continually tweaking, trying to alter it, to just change the surface, try and get it consistent throughout. Oh, wait. There we'll draw to the open side for Nedregotten. Lie 3. Norway with wins already against Italy and Germany. Always nice. You can beat a team below you in the standings. Obviously 2-0, Norway's at the top of the pack right now. Get 3 games of separation between you and the team you're playing.
This one is really moving out towards the wing. Just catches an edge. Does enough to remove it.
Yeah, Koji Nisato. As you said, Kenny, it was Koji who played lead earlier today. Now playing second. He's listed as their alternate. The changing of the lineup for this Japanese team.
A good separation again.
Well, is there any shot you can play? There's a chance to try and bring a 2 into play right now.
Well, potentially you could go around the yellow top of the 12 foot on the left hand side. I'm not sure I'd be moving this one on the centre line.
A freeze might have been a possibility.
Absolutely. This was cutting again.
It will not remove anything except the shooter, so this has been mistake after mistake by Japan.
It's pretty difficult now for Norway to find a good spot for this stone. Sometimes when your opponent makes a couple of mistakes, you don't really know where to put it to make it difficult for them.
All these players are thinking 2-3 shots in advance and what your opponent's going to do, and assuming the shot made as opposed to a mistake.
Don't want to drift behind the tee line. That's a good shot.
Well, we'll look over at Korea, United States of America. Over on sheet A, it's the second end. Looks as though Korea lying that one back of the 12-foot. Greg Persinger needs the 8-footer better. They had a tough loss earlier today to the Netherlands. They sit at 1-1, while Korea 2-0 coming in. So pivotal game for both these teams. Wow, they're trying to chip that one over, trying to see if they could split it to get 2. And they'll slide past everything. And it is a steal of 1. So trying to play that split and go for 2. But they miss it with a little too much weight, and it's a steal of 1 for Korea.
今度で来るでしょ。
I don't think we've seen a complete full mark shot by Japan in this end. Facing 4. Masaki Awai. Hit off the top one, trying to roll it in front. Well, end up sliding behind it, and it'll be just hanging on, but 4th shot.
Alle innsida. Vil du svare 3 han skal eller 4? Ja.
Yeah, just a very slack end from this young Japanese side.
2,5. Hold den i gang, litt tight. Okay. Kjør du da, Minus. Jeg vet det. Vi er litt lang. Jeg synes ikke. Okay. Jeg er sikker på at det er fint. Bare fart. 3. Ok. Perfekt fart. Linja, ok. Fart er veldig bra. Litt tight.
Just looking to cover this one on the edge of the forefoot.
Rent og død, rent og død, rent og død. What's up?
So Norway lies 3. They throw the guard.
Litt daffere, men siste for det. Ja. Ja, litt pointy.少しまあタップもありじゃん。
Well, the Japanese supporters here at the Orleans Arena watching on. Smiles there, but not a lot of smiles from the Japanese team on the ice in this end.
All you've really got is the corner freeze for me on the end turn.
I would also agree the only thing that's saving Japan right now is they have the forefoot to get to try and score 1. Well, good look of what they have on this, trying to corner freeze that one. Buried in behind.
Quite a lot of ice they're taking as well.
They gotta be precise here. Aoyama and Nisato in their hands now.
This one looks good though. Is it going to over curl?
I think it did. Weight was perfect and it just went on them late.
Yeah, I think that could be dished down to the release. It was very soft out the hand. When you see this on arena ice, it does finish really hard at towards the end if you've got a soft release. If you're not positive, it will cut away at the end.
And by positive, putting a good rotation on it.
Yeah.
Straight out to the broom.
Again, that's something that comes with experience of playing on arena ice.
てここまで来るのか。
Kant til kant med gul. Ja. Hold igjen, Magnus. 2,5. Din er grei. 2,5, 3. 2. Var ren. Litt korte. Din er bra. Bare hold i gang her. Kun 2.
Oh, with that one over curling, the guard. And as a skip, you love ends where you can go out and throw a guard.
Yeah, just do the simple things well. Norway just doing the basics well at the moment. Haven't really been asked to do anything too fancy at all. Line on this one again looks good.
It will finish hard. Obviously, Aoki a little different release on his than Hawaii, and right around and just a hair deep. So an intern freeze now for Stefan Wallstad. Well, Stefan, that 8th place finish last year in Edmonton, 2017, was also the bronze medalist at the World University Games. Trying to find a way to position himself, get into the top 6 and into the playoffs come the end of round robin. 6 of the 13 teams will make it in. I'll try and keep this one going. A great chance to get shots. Don't really close in the rings. And it'll come up short and over curl for Wallstad. Meaning, out of this, still a chance at 2.
Yeah, so one good draw. This is a skips 2 as they call it. One shot has set up the opportunity.
The shot wasn't perfect. It was actually a little bit deep. It left an opening. Norway couldn't take advantage. We'll see if Japan can utilize this and tie the game up in the 3rd end of play.
Line and weight look really good. Have they got this one swept in?
Need full 4-foot to get the 2nd point and comes up short. Whole end struggle. You make your first skip stone. Chance at 2, but a missed opportunity for Japan. They do get 1. They're on the board, and it's a 2-1 game after 3 ends of play. Well, a single point on the board here. The 3-6-1 World Men's Curling Championship. Luke Coley here with you, along with Kenny Edwards. Japan had a chance at 2. Surprisingly, in that end, where just takes 1 shot and a little miscue by Norway, but couldn't finish it. Couldn't get that extra point.
Yeah, absolutely, Luke. One great draw set up the chance to score 2, but they couldn't capitalise. Lots of mistakes by Japan in that third end. Sure, that's one they'll go back and review after the game.
Magnus Valberg, 84% on the tournament. This is the first year with this team for Valberg, coming after a bronze at the World Juniors last year, or yeah, last season. Yutaka Aoyama, 77%. That's on the tournament. Well, another miss from the Japanese lead. He's struggling in this one. We'll look over. See that one back 4-foot for Korea. They lie one. Greg Persinger had a split attempt in the last to try and get one, ended up giving up a steal. Now, the intern draw for the American champions.
Now look up. Line's really good. Play the weight. Line's really good. Look up for me. We're going.
They need the button here. Huffman, Tilker on the brush. Got to get it to the 4-foot. To the button. And a good brush there by the American front end. Take it right to the T-line. Score the single point. 1-1 after 3. Meanwhile, another good come around, and Valberg really playing well with these lead stones, putting them in a great spot to start off each and every end so far. Koji Nisato, 75%.
Trying to run the guards back, does pick one off the button though. Got to think if you're Norway, you're in a good spot. You've got one top of the 8-foot, draw the open side, maybe back of 8-foot. Looks like that's what Stefan Wallstad has called.
Yeah, just draw away, exchange some stones, and execute your shots. Pretty good opportunity to get your 2 in the end. 96% on the game, 82 for the tournament for Magnus Nedregotten.
Yeah, throws that one really deep. Won't be too worried though.
It's going to take a few hits on that one to be able to go and play the hit and roll and get it behind cover. See how aggressive Japan goes now. They're looking at going around everything, trying to go back of the button, back forefoot. Gonna have a little discussion now, figure out how they want to go about this. They're not set up very well. A lot of discussion by this Japanese team, and they ate up a lot of their clock in their game earlier today as well. So something they'll need to work on as well is the time management. A couple of the coaches having a little chat on the bench behind.
Yeah, it's fairly friendly up on the bench.
Looks like after the discussion, decide they need to try and get at these, and not necessarily wanting to play a double peel of your own, or the double run, I should say. It ends up being the double peel. It's still Norway lying too, and now they have a corner guard to use also.
I don't really like that at all. Not a great spot for Team Japan.
Well, look over Scotland and Italy. 2 blank ends to start the third end. Almost Mozart opportunity. Score 2 and get the Italians with an early lead in that game against Scotland. Of course, Scotland winning their first game, knocking off the reigning world champions, Team Canada, last night. And the open draw to the rings for the Italian 4-stone thrower, and it's an early deuce for Italy. They lead Scotland 2-0 after 3. Trying to make this double on the side, yellows. Nicely done, able to get rid of 2. Norway still full control of the end with the hammer, still positioned, try and get their deuce.
Yeah, that was a really good shot to move both yellows from play.
Real big work to make sure they get this one in the rings. Trying to place it even with the other one.
Yeah, not enough angle there to lift the double. Just try and hit and squeeze the 2 stones together.
And not using Norway not using the corner guard, is that just knowing they don't need to? They could make it more complicated for themselves by going behind it.
Having to go hard to hold this one. Have they made the roll? Makes a great roll.
Look at this.
Underneath.
Right in behind it, actually. Sit. Shot stone, back part of the house.
Okay. Vill ha tenkt det hadde vært kjapt, kanskje? Ja, du må mer.
Oh, just a fantastic roll. Hawaii able to roll it over across in behind. Forces a more difficult shot from Norway.
Certainly past the top yellow. Pushes the red through. But looking at the two yellows, it's a relatively simple double. Just a hair on the left-hand side towards the centre. I think I'll make both yellows go away.
Make both those yellows go away, and they go over the top, clear everything out. Opens up that corner guard, and now Norway will try and utilize it.
Yeah, good shot.
Threw a rocket down there. Well, it's the harder of the two ways to make that double than the nose hit, which would have made it also. Stefan Wallstad, 89% tournaments. He's at 96% on the game. Hasn't been forced with too many difficult shots so far either.
This one looks really nice for weight. Is it going to sit down?
Question is how much comes the other side.
Yeah, I think he's going to probably show most of that one on the high side.
It's probably at least half to 3/4. Well, good luck there on the how much is out on the right-hand side. Well, here's this time management and decision making with four-stone thrower in the hack. Oh, Hawaii making the decision in the house.
I'm not surprised they're not going after that.
Does surprise me as well.
Just tells me Go Aoki isn't that confident of playing the take it out wide. He's played some fantastic takeouts so far in this game. I think that's the one I'd be favouring.
I mean, overall in the game, his takeout numbers are better than his draws.
Weight looks a little heavy for me at the moment.
Right down, but it's a quiet little tap. Don't have to move it too far. Heavy draw. Looks like there's a chance for two. It is buried. The question, could Norway play on the outside?
Yeah, just looking for this one. Background weight, they only need to move it a foot or so to score two.
So throw the proper weight for where the ice is on this. That's the tough shot with this, is not thinking two different shots in your head. Final stone, fourth end. Well, a real big sweep, try and get this one by. It won't. But will they be able to still roll in for their one? Wow, just great recognition that they did have just the weight to chip off the front, roll in for a single point. It's not the two, but Norway has a 2-point lead after 4. So 3-1 the score. Luke Coley, Kenny Edwards, the 3-6-1 World Men's Curling Championship. Fifth end. There it is, Japan with the hammer. Last two ends, there's been a shot for two for both sides. Neither side unable to make it. But it was a good recognition by Norway. Throw the right weight, even if you touch the guard, you end up sliding into the center of the rings. Get your one. Well, Japan's going to just try and clean up their game. They've been a little sloppy in the first 5. They'll try and pick it up moving on in these next few ends. Very fortunate they're just down 3-1 at this stage.
2,5. Har du plass? 3. Passe plass. Ok. Og 3. Ok. Magnus. Kjølelse med innen karen. Ja. Ja. Hard.
Well, Norway electing to just guard that red stone, that yellow stone in the red forfeit area. Again, this one just crashing into the guard. Puts his team under a whole lot of pressure.
Well, and we'll slide over Korea, USA, 1-1 in the fourth. A chance at 2 here. Kim Chang-min, if he can get the hit and stick, can bring that other one into play. This Korean side was a host nation and host team at the Olympic Winter Games. Through the hole. Now they need to stick the shooter. Will hit and roll all the way over and out. Rich Runen gets on that one, gets it out of the rings. And Korea just gets the 1, so 2-1 after 4 over on sheet A.
Norway just employing the tactic of doing the simple things well, asking Japan to play the big run backs and difficult shots.
And they haven't seen Japan come up with those big shots throughout in this game, so why change the strategy with what's working? Another run back missed. It's a common theme. Well, they're trying to see if they can take away the hole, the access there. There's that tight run back, you can get rid of it, but gotta clear that center up.
Light on this one looks a lot better. They opened things up. Where goes one, there goes the other.
Won't catch the one in the rings, but that center line wide open now to open up that stone. Top forefoot. Any young curling fans, you don't want to play lead or don't think those stones are important. See the mistakes that we've seen and the great shots and positioning. Valberg for Norway and some mistakes by Aoyama in Japan. They've been chasing. Every end where there's been mistakes, they've had to chase.
Yeah, Norway just continue to throw the guard, keep things nice and simple. One thing I would say about this young Japanese side, the dynamic is very good. We haven't seen them sort of get down when they're trailing by 2 or 3. They seem fairly happy and relaxed out there, fairly loose.
And that's important because this is an experience for them. Obviously coming in, they probably wouldn't put themselves expectation to win the event. They're here to gain the experience playing in an arena environment, their first international event. They try and showcase the growth and the depth of Japanese curling. We saw it from The Japanese on the women's side, it's not just the one team anymore.
Yeah, I was so used to seeing Yuzuki Morozumi at the World Championships for Japan.
Well, Marcus Hoiberg, it's the long guard out in front. Second consecutive peel for the skip. Hawaii.
Springs the yellow down into the top of the 12-foot.
And clogs that center line that for those 4-foot paths in that control zone out in front. Well, Kenny, if you're Stefan Wallstedt, you gotta love, oh, I get to throw another guard. I get to put another guard out in front.
Yeah, this is doing your stats no end of harm, as you fully expect all your players to be able to throw this type of shot. As a skip, it's feels so good to just sit down and say, okay, I've got my draw to the 4-foot, I've got to throw a guard, I've got an open hit to the nose. They're the shots that you want as a skip. You don't want to have to play an angle raise. Yeah, they look great on TV, but you don't want to be playing them.
Yeah, there's a low percentage in making those. You're going to miss it more often than you make it. Netherlands, Sweden. 2 in the first end by Sweden, but no scoring since. And look at all the yellows. Line 3 is Nicholas Edin. But the Netherlands and Jaap van Dorp needs the 4-foot with this out-turn draw.
Yeah, this is a difficult draw, having to go out wide to get a piece of the 4-foot.
I've seen you go out a little bit wider, maybe the speed changes a bit. Hoekman, Glasbergen on the sweep, strike this one right to the 4-foot. And nicely done for the Netherlands skip. Was curling 90%. That one goes in. It trails 2-1 though into the break. Guard left a little bit of an opening and Japan unable to get through the port. Another look at this one. Had to wait, just trying to wait for it to make that move, and it just chips off the outside.
Very unlucky not to get through that port.
Han kommer seg ut av spillen her, da, tror du ikke, Markus? Hæ? Han kommer seg ut av spillen den her. Ja. Kan du gå inn i sving? Nei, jeg tenkte frysen først. Frys egen den tasje litt. Nei, jeg har rundt på tiden.
So do you cover the yellow or do you go around yourself?
Jeg synes kun eventuelt frysen og marginal stopper litt kort, så er ikke det så farlig.
I like coming around out wide and going behind the 2 reds that are lined up.
And I don't mind the call. I think right now, you throw the guard. Don't hate that out turn come around, but it's the point that you take away the easiest shot, and I think the easiest shot right now is to come down. Play that tap on the yellow. Put this one out and then see what the young forest stone thrower for Japan's all made up of. It's at 90, or pardon me, at 69%. That is Go Aoki on the game. And 67% on his draws. If you can get him to have to draw for a single point.
Really nice
Worked
corner
out-
freeze.
Yeah, takes that away. There's no run on it. There's maybe an angle raise. On the right-hand one, you could try and play the double. The double off the one on the overhead there on the left is a tough one to make because the guards are out in front that take away the inside that you need to make it. So the angle raise and stick it to score 2.
Well, I think the call is the angle. They need to get very tight to the top yellow. They don't want to drive the red into the top yellow and end up leaving Norway sitting 3.
Last stone here of the 5th. Go Aoki. Big moment of the game right now.
Caught this one very thin.
Try and get by that top one, and they just get by and make the angle raise for 2. Go Aoki comes up with the angle raise and ties this game up heading into the 5th end break. First end, and a couple of mistakes by Japan allowed the open hit here. Stefan Wallstad make the hit and stick. A Norwegian skip, no problem, will hit. He'll roll into the center of the rings and use them all, but an early score of 2 by Norway. Fourth end, and great last rock. Go Aoki tucked one in behind that corner. Knew this was going to be tough, so playing the quiet weight tap. Stefan Wallstad won't get by, but they throw the right amount of weight that if they did, they could roll in, still get their 1, and they do that, so a single by Norway in 4. And a key moment in this game, the 5th and the final shot here. Go Aoki. In-turn angle raise. When you want to be a skip, you need to come up with shots like this one. Hit it, get right past that top one, stick in the 8-foot and score 2, which leaves us at a 3-3 score after 5. The other scores going on here in session 4. Korea leads the U.S. 2-1 in a bunch of low-scoring affairs. Italy leading Scotland 2-1, and Sweden leads Netherlands 2-1 as well. Our feature game on sheet D, 3-3 in the 5th end break. Well, look at the numbers through 5 ends of this one. 3-3 the score, and you look at percentages that you would not know that on the scoreboard, but it's the shots that you make. 90% overall for Norway to 61 for Japan. Similar in the draw percentage and the hit percentage. No steals in this game. A deuce by each and singles by each with 1 blank end as we sit 3-3 after 5. Well, that trophy will be presented to the winner of this year's World Championship. Of course, the reigning world champion, Team Canada. Brad Gushue and his team are here to defend their title as we play the 6th end. Norway was there last year when Gushue and Team Canada won in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, trying to improve on their performance. So, 6th end, first stone, top of the 8-foot. And it may seem lopsided the way the percentages show it, but it's the shots that are made, and Norway has controlled this game through and through, but not on the scoreboard. Voiberg 90% on the game, 84 for the tournament.
Yeah, the only stat that really matters is the W on the board at the end of the game. The stats just give an indication of how well the teams are playing. I was never that strong a believer in the stats. It gives you a good indication if you're weaker in one hand or weaker at one particular shot, or your opponent's weak at one particular shot. But the only number that matters is the amount of W's you have next to your name.
Here we look at numbers that are low for the front end. Aoyama, well below his tournament average here in this game. Well, and it doesn't factor in which shots you make, and you make that last shot of an end as a skip. You may miss your first every single time, but you make your last, your team will have a chance.
Bra. Vis. 4,5. Men 8 altså. 8. Å da. Kanskje sette. Og må køle opp. Og den setter seg. Jeg får nok en balance, altså. Jeg er rundt, altså.
Well, the freeze attempt, they probably could have taken that and tried to go around that. So we'll look in. Italy, Scotland, 2-1 Italy leading. Almost Mozaner facing 2, and he's trying to draw in. Interesting path he's trying to go at to get to the forefoot and get this single point.
Yeah, surprisingly looking to try and corner freeze Red out in the 8-foot. Maybe he knows the line a little better than out wide to the left. This one looks a little heavy. And it's actually caught the yellow. It's going to give up a steal of 2.
Wow, that really swung. A steal of 2 in that end and a 3-2 lead for Scotland. Didn't see that one coming. We have seen from some of the teams, though, you go a little bit wider, the speed gets a bunch slower than in that draw to the button path. So we see 88% Nedregotten, 81 for the tournament.
We're looking for that one to hit and roll behind the corner guard. Leave themselves in the open.
Koji Nisato, just 40% on the game. 71% for the tournament.
Well, that will help his numbers, making a hit and roll.
Yeah, right into the center line. So Japan lying 2, and really the first time in this game where they've had something sort of set up early in an end.
Swooping this one past the centre guard, catching that one on the centre line, pushing the red through. Doesn't cause any trouble though.
Trying to get that little bit underneath of that center, still lying 2. We see Japan moving very quickly in this end. They're 3 minutes in their time clock behind that of Norway, just under 17 minutes left. Something you start thinking about now?
It's something you should be thinking about right through the game. As we look at Marcus Højberg, 93% in this game, 92 in the tournament. Some really good numbers from the Norwegian third player. And he will be shocked to find himself at 3-3 in the 6th end.
And that 93%, a very routine 93, just putting those, a lot of guards in play, not a lot of high degree of difficulty shots. Well, trading hits now, a nose hit is out of the rings.
Sort of feel that Japanese guys have come out after the break, re-energized, finding themselves at 3-3, having a really scrappy start to this game, but I don't think they can believe they're still in this. So that's maybe giving them a bit of confidence to say, you know what, we really have a chance here.
Just got to hang around, and they hung around enough, made that great angle raise. Oh, Aoki, don't make that. It's a 4-1 game instead of 3-3. Højberg now forced to try and double peel, get the front off. Opens up the shot stone. Just 1 stone in the house now, belonging to the Japanese. Go Aoki getting right down there. Elbow almost on the ice. Cringing up here, just watching that. Very flexible, but the youngest player in the tournament at 18 years of age.
Does cover the red in the forefoot, but not a lot of distance between the stones.
No one will look over USA, Korea, and back and forth just singles. And Greg Persinger looks like he has a chance. The outturn tap, score 2, possibly 3 if he moves that one far enough. Greg Persinger throwing 4 stones. Rich Arunen in the house. It's been 10 years since Rich had been at a Worlds. Last one was also played in the States in Grand Forks, but he's got Greg Persinger who makes a little tap back just like that to score 3 and lead 4-2 after 5. Meanwhile, our feature game, Norway and Japan. Skip stones here for Falstad, 90 on the game, 88 for the tournament. They won handily this morning against Germany, trying to get on a bit of a roll. Well, doesn't make the double, but keeps their shooter in play, partially protected.
Yeah, covered the inside edge, so will be difficult for Japan to go after that one and hang around. Well, they're talking about playing picking the wide one. Well, that's what they're going for. I think he would have thought, you know what, found a good spot, let's throw a center guard on this one.
Yeah, especially last rock of an end, you put up the center guard.
So they are going to call the timeout.
I think it's not a bad time to use this one. I think the center guard is probably the call. Protect that one in the forefoot.
Well, JD Lind suggested just coming into the house. That's another option. Force the one, or make it difficult for Norway to score any more than a single point.
I don't think any discussion there with JD Lind was talking about picking that Yellowstone.
No.
めっちゃ悪い。まあいいよ。7。待ってるよ。待ってる待ってる。ちょっと入って最初。入った。ちょっと落ちるよ落ちるよ落ちるよ。ないな。ちょっとないな。ないわ。手前だわ。あでも。
Not sure they've got the weight to get in with this, and it's over curling. Is this
Well,
one going to
short.
be wide open?
Did they end up looking at just guarding it and it over curls for them? Just the execution wasn't there. I like the call. I didn't mind coming in or the guard there, which they were playing, and now a chance at a 2, which Norway had been chasing throughout the entire end. So it leaves the hit is wide open for Valstead. Opportunity to get this 2 and a 5-3 lead. Try and get ahead, get a little bit of dominance in this game. They've been outplaying Japan, as you've been seeing through the numbers, but here a chance to take the lead on the scoreboard right back.
11. Elva blank. Ren. Elva blank. Ren. 11. Oj, rent. Oj, rent. Rent. Se 11. Oj, rent.
Light, clean, and no problem for Norway. They will hit, they'll stick, and it is a deuce. So a 5-3 lead as we are through 6 ends of play here from the Orleans Arena.